There's everything.
What you just saw, all of that stuff coming up the stairs, was my mom just coming in absolutely clutch. I talked to my mom Monday morning, and I told her, hey, Mom, I'm thinking about getting into eBay selling. I know you guys are moving. Make sure before you move and you take all the stuff and you donate it or throw it away, let me look through it. I will donate it all. Just give it all to me. Make a pile. Set it aside. I'll come grab it all. I'll take what I can. I'll sell what I can, and then I'll donate the rest. And she said, okay. And literally, I'm not kidding, 5 hours later, she calls me and she's like, hey, do you want to come pick up this stuff? And I was like, okay, I could come take a look at what you got so far. That day, she went through a bunch of stuff that she didn't want and stuff that she knew she was never going to get around to sell or do anything with. So she's planning on either throwing it away or donating it. And I told her I'd come look at it. I went over there and I had no idea how much stuff she was actually going to have for me. So as you can see on screen now, this is all of the stuff that she dropped off. And I'll show here in a bit all the stuff that I had after I opened it all. But we got things from designer purses. We've got designer clothing, like a really good branded clothing. We've got probably 100 DVDs, probably like 20 of which weren't even opened, Blu-rays and DVDs. We've got brand new stuff, never opened, just so much stuff. There was a bunch of comic books, although I will say the comic books, I'm pretty sure are my uncle's. My mom was going to make sure on that. I don't want to sell something that's not hers that she didn't want to give away. So I think we're making sure on the comic books, she wants to make sure that those aren't my uncle's, which I think they are. So I'm not going to worry about trying to list those or look through those or anything, because I'm pretty sure I don't want to sell those unless I get permission from my uncle that he doesn't want them anymore. We've got shoes. We've got all kinds of stuff here, and it was insane. My mom was really awesome and really nice for her to give me all these things. I told her, I was like, please, like, you gotta let me pay for some of this. She's like, no, absolutely not. You're gonna take it all. And my dad was the same way. He's like, yeah, if we're not gonna do anything with it, we're never gonna get around to selling it. We might as well help you if you want to get started with this stuff. So it was really nice of them. It was really cool. So I know in the last episode I mentioned not wanting to list too much because I was gonna get through all the stuff that I had. Well, that plan changed. We have so much stuff to list and so much stuff to go through that I decided that I was just gonna list as much as I could whenever I could, and I wasn't really going to pay attention to making sure I hit X number amount per day. I'm just going to be listing as much as I can just to get through this, because this is a lot to get through, and I don't want to start a death pile and make sure I get through all of this stuff and get it all listed before I jump into a bunch of other stuff. So I will say this week I didn't spend as much time looking for product. One, because I needed to sell stuff to actually make some money, but also two, I needed to make sure that I got through some of this stuff. So we only did one deal, which we'll show a little later, but we had a few other things that we needed to get to. So let's jump into the beginning of the week. To start off our week, we sold Zoo Tycoon for $5, which after shipping and fees will make us about $3. And then we sold the Wise 8. I think it's actually pronounced Ease 8 for the Nintendo Switch. This is one of my games. We sold it for $55. After fees, we've got about $46. All right, we're heading out, sending some TCG player orders, but also there's a DS order in here as well. I'm going to go get these cleaned. I'm going to what's called a disc replay around me to get these games cleaned. They're worth it, and it's only like $2.50 to get them cleaned per disc. And then I'm also heading to Walmart to go get some shipping supplies because I don't have any bubble mailers that are big enough to ship a Switch game, which we just sold. So got to go do that, and we'll take that off the total. Okay, that took a while, but it was $7.50 to do these 3 games, and then they look fantastic. One of the things they did say while I was in there was they mentioned that they can't guarantee these are going to work, even if they're currently working. So that's a little scary, but I think it's more just to cover their ass so they don't get in trouble if someone comes back and says, well, it worked before, now it doesn't. I think it's just to do that, but we'll see. I'll have to go back home and test them, make sure they work, but I'm sure they do, but they look fantastic. The next day was relatively slow. We only sold Speed Racer for the DS for $5, which is $3 after fees. The next day was much different. We actually sold 2 of the DVDs that we had gotten. We sold Mulan and Monsters, Inc. for $17 combined to the same person. After fees, that brings us at $13. We also sold the train set, but they ended up not paying us, which is unfortunate, so we're going to have to get that relisted. Lastly, we sold the Super Nintendo for $90, which after fees gets us about $78. While I was out running some errands, I found a few games that somebody was selling for $25 a piece, and we'll kind of go over. I'll pop up some of the solds on eBay for each thing, so you'll see that some things sell for right around the price that I bought it, but the very last one you'll see is why I bought it. So bought Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Mario Superstars, Mario Party Superstars, and Super Mario 3D All-Stars. This game is worth roughly about $70. And I think it'll sell relatively quickly. All of these will sell pretty quickly. So the person actually had this listed for 25, which I was just going to go pick that up. But then I saw she had these 4 listed as well for 25. And she had just listed it, but I imagined people were already messaging her, so I tried to sweeten the deal saying I'd pick up all 5 for 125. I asked her if she'd do 110. She said no, so I said, oh, it's fine. I'll do 125. This was easily the best deal we had done and probably the easiest money I made. And I'll show you exactly what we made, and I'll show you exactly how easy it was for me. But first, we have some more stuff we need to go over what we sold. On Thursday, we sold Disney Sports Soccer for $30. After fees, we got $26. We then sold Xenoblade Chronicles for $30 as well, which is another $26. Then we sold Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs for $7. We took home $5. And then Pokemon Snap sold the day we bought it for $25, which is $22, which is actually a $3 loss of what we purchased it for. But that's okay, because the next day, on Friday, we made our money back pretty quickly. We sold Super Mario 3D All-Stars for $78, which after fees was $68. We sold the Hot Wheels Velocity X for $14.49, which we got $12 after fees. Then we sold Pokemon Legends Arceus for $32, which we got $28 after fees. Then we sold Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu for $31, which brought $27 after fees, and that ended off our Friday. Saturday, we sold God of War for the PlayStation 2 for $7, which we got $6 after fees. And then we sold our last game that we had bought for $36, which was Mario Party Superstars, which brought in $31 after fees. Saturday also, we sold this 26-piece Pokemon set, which had a bunch of different random things that I had around the house. We sold it for $15. After fees, we made $11. And then we also sold 2 games to one person. We sold Monster Hunter Rise and Mario Rabbids and Kingdom Battle. We sold all those for $22, and those 2 got us $18 after fees. Lastly, we get to Sunday. We sold our GameCube memory card for $6, which brought us $5. Then we sold our Elgato Stream Deck, which was $73, which was $63 after fees. And then lastly, we sold the Super Mario Brothers game case for $9, which brought us $6 after fees. Just a few things that we didn't record that we had as expenses. We bought some Post-it notes and bubble mailers from Walmart for $13. I then bought a little bit more bulk bubble mailers on eBay for $20. I then bought some bubble wrap from Walmart for $13. Then I bought some Pokemon games. The Pokemon games were $125 that we need to take off. And then I also bought some bins that I'm holding some stuff in for $25. So overall, a really, really great week. We did a fantastic job. If you see over in this corner, everything from those shoes up, and then some in that shelf, just the games, none of the controllers or any of the books. All of this is listed. So I did a really, in my opinion, good job of getting a lot of stuff listed this week. I listed so many things and went through so much stuff. And you'll see in this video, spoiler alert, you don't see what's in that box, which sold today. I'm actually recording this on Monday. So you'll see that I got through a bunch of stuff listed, and we'll get on the computer to show you exactly what all is there. And then over here is what's not listed. This is still what has left to list. It's basically all clothes. I think it's literally all clothes. I got through everything but the clothes. It's my thing that I don't want to do the most, but I need to get through this. So there's probably, I would say, 60 articles of clothing here, and probably about 40 of them will be good enough to list if I had to guess. And then over here, you can see this is all the stuff that I'm just going to be sending to Goodwill. This is the stuff that either didn't have value or wasn't worth listing. So I'm just going to throw it into Goodwill, or I couldn't list them. These off-brand Lego stuff is just worthless. Surprisingly, that Disney artwork thing was worth like $5. I can't sell those. Those are some DVDs, or there's 2 games in there that don't work. You can get them resurfaced. I'm sure you can get them working, but to me, they're not worth it. It's like $10. After you get resurfaced and do everything, it's really not worth anything to me. So that's all the stuff that's really not worth anything that I'm just going to throw to Goodwill. And then again, the comic books that we have yet to sell, and then the MacBook that we still need to look up. So this still needs to be listed as well. I'm going to try and see if I can find a charger for this and get this started, because I'm pretty sure this would work, which would be a lot more money if I didn't have to sell it as is. So I wanted to go over our eBay page to kind of go over some things. I apologize about the hair and the look right now. I just got done playing with my dog. I'm very sweaty, but I want to get this video done so I can get this out to you guys by tomorrow. So if you see here the summary, we have $1,466.41 in our Buy It Nows. All of our Buy It Nows combined equal 1,400 still left on our account after we already sold everything that we already have. So we still have a lot of stuff to sell. And I wanted to show you something real quick. If you actually look at this, this is all of what we sold that we bought last week. We sold the memory card. We sold God of War 2, Hot Wheels, Disney Soccer, and Super Nintendo. It's not a lot. We didn't make a lot of our money back from the specific stuff we sold, but there's a big reason for that. One, some of the other stuff is a little slower sellers. We also really focused on selling those Switch games, which I knew were going to be pretty quick sellers, as well as still in that cooler right there are some of the systems. The PS4 is still in there, and that whole thing that we bought for $200, all of that is still in there untouched because I took it out like probably Thursday and it still smelled like smoke. Was really disgusting. So we didn't get that listed. We've got some watchers on a lot of the other things that we actually listed, so I'm not worried they will sell. It's just going to be a little slower sellers. So I guarantee I've already gotten offers on a bunch of the stuff that we bought as well, so I'm not worried it'll sell. I don't want to sell too quickly, but I wanted to go over a few things that I think I learned in this past week. One, I think I need to make sure I'm patient with this eBay. I almost want to take offers sometimes, and I always have looked at it like, okay, how many views am I getting? How many people are watching it? If there's a lot and I'm getting a lot of offers, I know this item's going to sell. A lot of those Switch games, every single one of those Switch games, I would get offers for it. 4, 5, 6 offers. Mario Party Superstars got like 7 offers on it, all for lower prices. One was like $3 or $4 off of asking, and I almost took that up, but I was like, just wait one more day, it'll sell, and it did. I really don't need to rush selling a lot of this stuff. This stuff sells. I'm super surprised how easy gaming stuff does sell. Now, with the other things, like actually, spoiler alert, I sold the Mickey Clubhouse. I was almost about to take an offer for that, but again, it's only been a week, so a week out, I really shouldn't be taking offers anything like more than 5% off on anything. I had here and there, but not a lot, because I think it's worth it if it's like $1 or $2 on some of the things, but if it's more than that, I don't want to be giving up money that I know I could be making. And now that we have a solid amount of money to work with, I'm not terribly worried about a lot of this stuff selling, because now we have a lot to work with and we can buy a lot. But there's still a lot listed, still a lot that needs to be sold, but I'm pretty happy with where we are with our buy it nows. Also, I now know I need to be a little bit more picky with the things that I buy from Facebook Marketplace. If I look back, I probably wouldn't have bought that PS2 with the or PS4 with the VR. I probably also wouldn't have bought that Super Nintendo. It did sell quickly, but I made all of a whopping $8 on it. I now know Switch games sell incredibly quickly. So any popular Switch game, if I can get it for a good price, I'm going to just jump on those. So a lot of lessons learned. Also, I'm now getting to where it's just clothing that I have left to do on the listing. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that it's just clothing left. I don't want to list too much, because if you see in my overview, I will show you, it says something about monthly limits. I'm pretty sure I can request to list more. I'm not terribly worried about these monthly limits. But the other thing I have to worry about, it's not here in this anymore. I think I got rid of it, but there's a 250 free listings, and I kind of want to stay under that for now. I'm not too worried about it, but just in case. And then also, lastly, one thing else I wanted to go over, I did get 2 positive reviews. One of them was for buying something on eBay. I bought those bubble mailers, which they gave me positive feedback, which was great, but that's kind of a buyer feedback, so I'm not too happy about that one. But the big one that came in today actually was I got a second one from a buyer and said, arrive quick, works great. And it was the one that bought the My Sims Racing. So I was pretty happy with that. That was one of the ones I sold really quickly. So really, really cool. I'm really excited that we did get a buyer feedback already. Within 2 weeks of doing this. This is pretty cool. I know eBay, it's hard to come by reviews, so really happy with that review. Overall, we got a lot to work with this next week, and I think I really want to focus this week on spending some time and getting more deals. This past week, I really only did that Switch deal because there was just a lot of stuff going on, and I wanted to make sure to get a lot of stuff listed since I had so much. But now that I'm getting down to just the clothing and I'm getting a little less to to get through. I want to start sourcing more, making sure we're constantly adding stuff to the eBay. So this next week, we're really going to try and hit the ball running with these sourcings, and then also make sure to get everything listed. I want everything listed. I want to go on a sourcing trip and know that I come back, list it, and be done. And that would be really nice. I would like to get through a lot of this stuff, so that's what we're going to focus on this next week. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.